How much, if at all, should the U.S. get involved in the Israel-Iran conflict, and where do our politicians fall in their perspective on that? Take a look at this clip over here with John Fetterman, senator from Pennsylvania, talking on Fox News about what his perspective is as to where America should stand when it comes to the Israel and Iran war. So we'll watch this clip together. We'll talk about it. But first, hit that subscribe button over there in the corner. We'd love to stay in touch. Check this out.
Democratic Senator John Fetterman out of Pennsylvania, member of the Homeland Security and Government Affairs Committee. And Senator, thank you for your time. Thanks for coming on here today.
Oh, great to be here.
Okay, you responded yes to the following question when Benjamin Netanyahu was asked yesterday on ABC about the Supreme Leader. Go ahead and roll this for me.
I'm not going to get into the details, but we've targeted their top nuclear scientists. It's basically Hitler's nuclear team.
Pretty much said go for it. And today in the Wall Street Journal, you've got this from Mark Penn and Andrew Stein. They write, Trump does Jews another mitzvah. His support for Israel against Iran builds on tough actions against campus anti-Semitism. There's a lot covered in there, but I read that this morning, and I thought you could have had a byline on that piece, the way you have been so hawkish with Israel's position right now. You say show no mercy, and if you have to take the Supreme Leader out, do it. Explain your position now, sir.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I think they should have targeted him. Absolutely, taken him out. I think the way Israel operates, they just take out the leadership, just like they did with Hezbollah, and they've already done that with the Iranian leadership. Just took them out, even laying in their beds, and they didn't take down the whole building. They actually targeted where they lay in bed, and now they eliminated the military ones and the nuclear ones. That's magnificent, and the precision which they've done that, and I don't know why they would have left the leader out.
What comes after that if that reality were to take place, Senator?
Well, I think the reality is that you have a nation that just is in a position where they have to be held accountable for what they've done. They're the ones that built and created the proxies like Hamas and Hezbollah and put our whole region in this kinds of chaos. And now they clearly have nuclear ambitions. And now I think it's entirely, I'm not sure if I might have been the only one constantly calling them to just take this facility out and to use the B-2 and those gigantic bunker buster ones and partner up with Israel, what they've done.
Well, all your Democratic colleagues are not on board with you. And Bernie Sanders is pushing for resolution right now. He writes this, he says, Netanyahu's reckless and illegal attacks violate international law and risk igniting a regional war. Congress must make it clear that the United States will not be dragged into Netanyahu's war of choice. And we have talked, we can put the quote on screen here. We've talked about the B-2 bombers. That does not mean boots on the ground. But just that line about reckless and illegal attacks, what do you think about that? And do you consider yourself far from the Democratic norm in your party?
Well, I mean, I'm going to vote that down. I've got in a habit of voting some of his kinds of votes down. Of course, I'm always going to stand with Israel through this. Now, if I'm an outlier in Democratic, I mean, I guess perhaps I'm unapologetically very pro-Israel. And now here, it's what's true is that Iran has nuclear ambitions, 100%. And now we can't ever allow them to acquire a bomb. And now what's also true is that they have created the proxies. They have Hamas and Hezbollah, so now let's hold them accountable for this. And again, we absolutely magnificent what Israel has done since Saturday when this launched as well. Done with such precision and lethality, and we want to support that. Now, I think we absolutely got to follow them into this and take out the nuclear facilities because it might not even a true path for real peace in the region. Now, because now taking out Iran at this point, that's necessary if you ever have a chance to have any real peace in the Middle East.
When you consider how far the U.S. should be aligned militarily with Israel in this operation, the Israelis might be able to do it on their own. But if they can't, how far and how close should the U.S. go and be with them?
Well, I think it's a great start with the 30,000-pound bunker busters, and I just keep dropping them until you can actually confirm what exactly happened to them. You know, we have the tools, and Israel and the world has the need to finally take this out, and we can't ever have Iran acquire a nuclear weapon. And now what Israel has already done, it's demonstrated that Iran really lacks any kinds of real military capabilities. And now we absolutely have to finish it out and now figure out where this goes. No, after this, possibly there could be some unintended consequences. But for me, what's most important to stop Iran and their nuclear weapons, but also now after Iran has been broken and humiliated on the world stage after what Israel has done, now we have to just, again, finish it out. And I think America absolutely has to have their back through this.
Okay, by extension, I just want to play this piece of video from over the weekend. There were these No Kings rallies all over the country, thousands of them. And this was at the event in Philadelphia when your name was mentioned. Watch here.
Now, this is not a rally for one party. We've got Democrats here today. We've got Republicans and independents here today. We're looking to the leaders who will fight for us, because even today there are folks among the Democratic Party who think we should roll over and play dead. Anyone seen John Fetterman here today?
So, sir, on the same day on Saturday, you sent this out on X. You said the parade is comprised, the U.S. Army parade in Washington. It's comprised of our sons, daughters, mothers, and fathers, the very best of us, regardless of your politics. It's appropriate to celebrate the 250 years of sacrifice, dedication, and service. What did you think of the boos in Philadelphia?
Well, I think two things can be true. I think absolutely my unapologetically supportive Israel and a secure border and refuse to vote to shut the government down. I have absolutely, I've taken a hit with from the base. I'm not sure why Democrats would boo a fellow Democrat, but that's their prerogative now. And now with that military parade. Again, you know, there was no goose stepping. And now, like, first of all, let's say stop ever comparing anything to the Nazis and those kinds of things. That's crazy. And now remember, that's our soldiers. That's, you know, this is not an occupying force. You know, this is a 250, anniversary for the Army. Why? I'm not sure why it's outrageous to have a parade to celebrate the Army. Now, look at that video that's on the screen now. That's not, like some kind of like, anything extreme. It's celebrating, a quarter of a millennia about the American Army. It's like, I don't understand why that's controversial.
One last question, if I could. The president's trying to get ICE to step up deportations, and he specifically named blue-leaning Democratic cities, of which Philadelphia and Pittsburgh were not named, but maybe they could be. Would you support the deportation on behalf of ICE and illegals who live in cities that you represent?
Well, let's talk about what I support. I absolutely support it, and I was the leading co-sponsor of the Lakin bill. So absolutely target the criminals, that are here illegally and deport them. I voted for that. I think that's what we should have. No one here should be here illegally if they have a criminal record or engaging in criminal behavior. Actually deport them, and now I think they've also realized don't target actually otherwise hardworking migrants, whether now working in agriculture or working at the hotel industry and there. Like two things must be true. Absolutely round up all of the criminals and deport them, but not target otherwise law-following migrants that are a very critical part of our immigration. I mean, both those two must be true, and because I think the vast majorities, the Americans want that.
Senator, thank you for your time. John Fetterman, Democrat from Pennsylvania, in the middle of a lot of topics these days. I hope you come back. Thank you for coming on.
Thanks for having me on.
All right.
What a refreshing dose of sanity. Whatever side of the aisle you're on, I think that we have to find more things that we can agree on. And John Fetterman is a leading voice in things that I think both parties can come together with. It is amazing, as John Fetterman, I believe, correctly points out, that the radical left will be very quick to condemn Trump and to condemn military parade celebrating the 250th anniversary of the U.S. Army as Hitlerian, as dictatorship, as he's trying to glorify himself as dictator. So they'll bring the Hitler analogies when it comes to President Trump, but the Ayatollahs and Iran, they won't make the Nazi comparison. How the Ayatollahs have said repeatedly that they're happy that the majority or a large chunk of the world Jewry lives in the land of Israel so that they can easily take care of them in one shot as opposed to hunting them down across the world. So it's very interesting and telling that the Nazi analogy is used only when it comes to President Trump and Republicans and things that are going on the home front there, but never is the Nazi analogy used at these with these insane terrorist regimes, from the Ayatollahs to Hamas and all the proxies of Iran, Hamas, Hezbollah, the Houthis, and so forth. You only find it regarding our political opponents in the United States. Never an outside group of people that actually states the same things that the Nazis themselves did. It is a puzzling thing, and it is refreshing to see that there are still people on both sides of the aisle that can have discussions and can come together on many things that I believe the bulk of the American population would be supportive of. If you like this content overall, hit that subscribe button over there in the corner. We'd love to stay in touch. Take care.